Hi folks, JOko here, and I'm going to be doing another review of a contributor's work. This time it's Mr. Tausif Hussain, who tells us right from the start that he has modified his previous essay. So this is an edit of something he had done before and gotten some feedback on. Should look that up and see what... Yeah, I think I'll do that at the end. But now he wants us to evaluate it some more. I need band 8 in writing. Why? That's just, I don't want to doubt what you're saying, but I've heard of like needing an 8 in listening in the Canadian visa application, but an 8 in writing? I don't know. You'd be lucky to get a 7. Okay. And what is our question? Well, let's take a look at it in the Word document. All right. So, this is an example of question rot. I've discussed this before. What happens is that the Cambridge official questions come out, but since they are copywritten materials, other people can't, freely reproduce them and make money off of them. And so they change them a little bit, and then maybe someone changes the change, or it's just changed very poorly. This is a question. Music is played in every society and culture in the world today. Some people think that music brings only benefits to individual societies. Others, however, think music can have a negative influence on both. This is based upon a question that stated music can bring people of different ages and cultures together. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And now, that I guess, this idea of individuals and societies. Okay? It can have a negative influence on both. Discuss both of these views and give your own opinion. So it's not a really sound, it's not an official question. Music brings only benefits? Really? Is anybody going to seriously think that? Alright, so I've put out my color code again here, because I've gone back to the red instead of the nice orange. Red is task response. Are your ideas developed? When you look at you need to know what the band descriptors say. And you wouldn't be talking about getting an 8 if you knew what they said, because you don't develop your points. They're just stated. Relevant reasons and examples. Relevant means what we're talking about. Okay? The topic at hand. And believable. And all parts of the question. So, in this instance, when we look at this question, we have several parts. Some people think only, that's a key word there, only benefits. Really? You don't address that aspect of the question. You're not addressing the biggest part of it. And you want to show how it affects individuals and societies. Okay? So, these are all, not just the two sides, or the two views, but the different parts of the views. Coherence and cohesion. Referencing. Using it. And using it correctly. Readability. If your sentences become overly long, or they're just incoherent because the word order is bizarre, they become, incoherent. I'm about to in a little bit. Also to point out, this first sentence in the question, music is played in every society and culture in the world today. Well, that is the premise. And it's not to be discussed. You can just skip it. And it's kind of odd, because as far as that, music has always been played in every society and culture in the world. I can't think of a culture that doesn't have music. It's one of the oldest things that make people people. I mean, maybe some hunter-gatherers. No, not even them. No, every culture and society has music, or had music. Some societies have decided to ban music as the societies became more developed. But that's one, as a musician, one of my big problems with this essay is this whole nowadays aspect of it. And that's what you start your essay with. Nowadays. Nothing wrong with starting an essay with nowadays. except that it does sort of label it as being from... There are plenty of good essays that begin with nowadays, a lot more bad ones, and very few great ones. So, avoid nowadays, particularly since you're just paraphrasing in the world today, which, again, music is not a new thing. As people from diverse societies and cultures around the globe play music, are there such things as non-diverse cultures around the globe? I mean, it seems like you're throwing in a lot of words that don't need to be there. Playing in every society and culture in the world today. Diverse societies around the globe. Music is played. Another thing I don't like about this question is, what are they talking about by playing music? Like hitting play and listening to music? And that's playing music? Or is it, producing music? It's not made clear, and you don't make it any clearer. Well, nowadays, as people, okay, so you have something happening, like a while people, as people, it is, because it doesn't mean because here. I mean, as, I have to think that as people from the, means while, not because. Because why would the assumption that music is only advantageous come from that premise? I suppose it's possible. But anyway, your first sentence is a real doozy in terms of too many connectors and too many clauses. Okay, because you got nowadays as people, it is assumed by some people. Then we got people already twice in the first sentence, when most of the time you don't have to use the word people at all. It is assumed by some that music. You don't need to say some people, because nobody else assumes things. The monkeys are going to assume things? Some animals? No, it's people. We don't need to say some people. Just say some. All right, and now we have music again. Why not use it? It's assumed by some that it is, well, it's pretty clear we're talking about music is only advantageous to them and nations. Who else is it going to be advantageous to? Okay, we've established that it's people, and we've established that it's societies and cultures around the globe. That's been set up. You don't need to say to them and nations. The music is only advantageous. Period. While others believe that music, not it, but music, can have bad result. Others, however, think that music can have a negative influence. Others believe that music can have music, that music. This is not paraphrasing. And bad result and negative influence are not very good synonyms. Don't ever use the word bad. I mean, because it's so general. And once again, on communities and individuals. Who else? We don't need to have that in there. It can have bad results. On what? Only people. I agree with both these views. Now, it is not possible to agree with both these views. Why? Because, look at the wording. Music is only advantageous. By only, it means it has no negative consequences. If you believe that, then you cannot believe it has negative consequences. So you can't agree with both the views. Okay? And look at the sentence. You have, as people, it is assumed, while others. That's a word count. 41 word sentence to start your essay. No, don't do that. Same thing here. I agree with both the views, and in my opinion, I believe that music has two benefits. Just two? Is that all? Just two. But there are some negative sides of it. Well, finally, it makes an appearance, but it's unclear because you put in another noun in between music and it. It has two benefits, but there are some negative sides to these benefits. Do the benefits have negative sides? Possible side effects? I don't know. We're confounded. We don't know. Okay, let's have a listen. Let's make the computer do the work.
Music is that it can dwindle the rate of desolation. According to the recent journal published on medical science and music in 2019, people who play music do not fall into depression. For instance, in Japan, the music is so eminent that the rate of melancholy is very low. The reasons are that it minimizes loneliness, and it provides relaxation. In addition to that, it gives a reminder about the family, especially when the music is romantic. Another advantage of playing music is that it helps in spending leisure time effectively, which is crucial to reducing boredom that leads people to indulge in hideous activities such as pornography.
Okay, is this, what are the advantages and disadvantages of music essay? No, it is not. There is one view that says music only has advantages. That's the view. And the word only doesn't appear anywhere in that paragraph. And only has benefits. That's the key element of the first view. And you've missed it. And so you've completely not captured the essence of the view. Instead, you've just listed a bunch of advantages. Very poorly. In fact, you cannot dwindle something. Dwindle is a non-transient, or is it intransient? It's not transient. It cannot carry action. You don't dwindle something. Things dwindle by themselves. You can't happen something. Things happen. You can't appear. You can't disappear something. Things just disappear. So it's non-transitive. So you can't. People can't. Doesn't have an object. Can't have an object. And the rate of desolation. Desolation and depression may have some common words in them, but desolation. Actually, I have it over here. Desolation. State of complete emptiness or destruction. So, desolation is emptiness. Now you can say, oh, my soul is in a desolate state, meaning it feels all alone. Yeah, if you want to be poetic, but this is not poetic. This is IELTS. So, vocabulary problems there. Okay. Oh, look. We have a grammar error. First one. According to a recent journal. Because there's more than one. But here you are jumping straight into your example. Without describing the agency, without describing how it decreases the rate of desolation. This is not a good tactic. Examples should come at the end just to formalize, to show what you've been explaining. According to the report, the recent journal published on medical science and music. No, there is no such journal on medical science and music. Music could be an article in a journal of medical science, but this in 2019, it doesn't even help you. This is obviously a made-up, irrelevant example. People who play music do not fall into depression. Oh my, really? That would explain why so many famous musicians have never killed themselves. No, that doesn't happen. Come on. Music actually increases depression. Some kinds of music do not fall into depression. Semicolon. Why? Do you know when the semicolon is used? Very rarely, to one thing. It doesn't create a more complex sentence to use a semicolon. You never would use Semicolon is used to connect two short sentences that are so close to each other in what they're trying to say that they don't deserve a period. You certainly wouldn't use it before, for instance, in Japan. The music is so eminent, you can't use eminent that way, that the rate of melancholy, is this close to the rate of desolation? The rate of melancholy. You know what melancholy means? Melancholy is a sort of not an overwhelming, but a pervasive, it's like depression, but not really. A feeling of pensive sadness, typically with no obvious cause. That's it. Pensive means like uptight. Oh, yes, the Japanese are such happy people, which is why they have perhaps the highest suicide rate in the world. Their population is dwindling because Japanese men and women don't get together and have children anymore. The reasons for what? The reasons for Japan, in Japan, the music is so eminent. What music? That the rate of melancholy is very low. Okay. The reasons, what reasons? That it minimizes loneliness, How? How does it do that? And it provides relaxation. Now wait a minute. First of all, this isn't even about what are the advantages. I've already said that. You shouldn't even be writing this. But have you developed this point? Do you want to tell us how it minimizes loneliness? Can you give us an example? Can you explain the mechanism by what it does? What it feels like? It provides relaxation. I thought we were talking about antidepressant. In addition to that, see, you're jumping right into your next point. It gives a reminder about the family. Especially when the music is romantic. Okay. When I hear a song about love, I think about mom and dad. Do you develop that point? It's an idea. Do you support it with conditionals or explanations or examples? No. Your whole idea is one sentence. Because then we go right into another advantage. It helps in spending leisure time effectively. How is that important? Why is that an advantage? Effective spending of leisure time? Oh, I see why. Because if you don't spend your leisure time effectively, you could end up in doing hideous activities like pornography. Oh, well, there we go. Music reduces pornography. Okay. On the other hand, nope. This is not an advantages and disadvantages essay. Okay. Can't wait to hear these. There are some amateur musicians who do not know how to control. Stay under control. Who do not know how to control their musical instruments. It appears to be so loud that it affects the old ones adversely. The old ones. There are many instances where the old people had a cardiac arrest on account of hearing rock music. Right. There are many instances. I'm not even going to go there. I mean, come on. It kills people. Not only, but also. You see, the not only, but also is a shorthand term for a grammatical structure that we use in sentences. Not only does it kill people, but it also makes them deaf. Okay, you have to put the words in between the two connectors there. Not only, but also, the noise engendered from pout music. Now, I thought what this could be a misspelling of. Is it rock music? Is it pop music? I don't know. Loud music? I don't know. Can lead to deafness. Oh, yeah. Let's describe the serious problem in the entire world. Music. Loud music. Not music. In conclusion, music should be taught. Is there anything in the question about teaching music? But, at the same time, proper control of musical instruments and reduction of loud music should be prioritized in all the countries. We are the Ministry of Ukuleles. We are going to be policing your playing to make sure none of it is out of control. You understand? Free government lessons to teach people how to play music. That's great. So, I hope you can see what you're doing wrong here. You're not developing your ideas. You're not thoroughly analyzing the questions and realizing what the question is talking about. Because you have written an answer to a different question. And doesn't matter how well you write it. If you do that, you're not going to get a 7, much less an 8. Good luck. Don't be melancholy. I've seen worse.